Hey everybody, my name is Rydo, and today we're starting a series on a puzzle game called Hocus. Now, I just played a game that had terrible interface with a mouse and keyboard, and here we are playing at the first screen of Hocus by this independent developer, and he's telling us analog stick is highly recommended, and we can swing it around that Xbox 360 controller. I guess that could be an Xbox One controller too. Might just be a generic controller. What's weird though is there's no logo. In fact, it's kind of weird there's no logo at all. It's just like you see the little HO, it's spelling it CUS in the middle. That's all it's doing. So what do we have here as far as options? We can turn the sound and the FX off. We can uh, click this plus button to hear promises of 10 new levels will come as soon as possible. I'm not sure I particularly believe that, but it looks like there's enough levels in this game already, so for it to be worth reviewing. Like games can always promise more information here. Come on, you have to really be in that circle, don't you? Well, designed by one person, music by MC2 Method. Special thanks to two people. That's about as indie as you can get. And then we have the Facebook and like and things. Oh, I guess if I had just swung here and hit A, it would have worked a lot better than trying to hold it like that. Anywho, that's all we really need to know about Hocus so far. Let's hop into the game. It's a simple puzzle game with an MC Escher style of design. I'm a big fan of MC Escher. So one, just swipe. Well, just swipe doesn't mean anything as far as playing on a PC. So I guess they mean use the left stick to go that way, and the square just turns. Alright, so did we just go to level 2? Or just click? So I could click with the mouse too if I was so desired. That's a little bit uh, of too much tutorializing to say click or swipe. Available directions, so I can go that direction. So I guess I can't fall off. Yeah, if I'm trying to press downward in the direction it doesn't work. Wait a minute. Here we get into the MC Escher thing. I am now on this face. And then all of a sudden I'm on this face. Alright. I'm a pretty big fan of MC Escher artwork. I wish there was more of it. Sadly, there isn't. There's a decent amount. So here we have a infinity triangle, an impossible optical illusion. But because this is a video game, we can use it to our advantage. This is a really good MC Escher, I guess I would say, is a really good person to study if you're trying to learn perspective, because all of this is done through using different forced perspectives. His pictures, if they were 3D modeled, would have to be aware of the viewer's perspective, what the viewer was looking at, and then change for it to actually work. That's not to say you couldn't make an awesome video game where you're working around in a maze-like environment with these impossible shapes. It's just you would have to cheat at it in the same similar fashion that you're actually cheating here by showing us only a 2D image that we can't rotate. If we could rotate it, things would break. Of course, MC Escher has some other perspective tricks where you rotate the image to see something line up and see an image form that you didn't realize was there. Yep, that was the right way. Gee, I think we may only go through one recording at this rate. I could see it being slightly difficult to produce enough puzzles here. The creator of the game did put a post that he was making an editor, and that would certainly help a little bit with this. But eventually, yeah, you're gonna just run out of ideas, or it's gonna get repetitive. $sign. Or it's a backwards $sign, actually. It's supposed to be S, as in US, United States. That's what it was originally. There we go. So we're at 11. Gee. Well, I guess nothing's gonna really slow us down. This might be a fun but incredibly short journey. That's alright. I mean, better you have a fun game that's short than a game that's incredibly long and loses its appeal halfway through. So often on AAA video games, we have had that experience. I have had that experience. Let's see, which way can I go? It's a little squeaky. I think the squeakiness probably should not be there. Squeak, 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 squeak. Now, of course, you'd have to play as a cube to work with these cuboid cylinders, I guess is what I'd call them. That way, every time you rotate, you would still be touching an axis of the rest of the puzzle. This is reminding me of the 3D modeling that I need to learn how to do for my hopes on improving my own channel and using Blender to do it. I'm certainly underskilled and underqualified to do that, but it's a direction I think I'll eventually have to go. I think I just went backwards there. There we go. Different shades here. This is probably a decent game for people who are colorblind, although so often colorblind people have difficulty with so many games. It's questionable whether, if you are severely colorblind, you should bother to even try to find a few. I've seen actual blind people play a few video games that I've actually played a few that they're kind of cool. Just sounds and only sounds. So we've got these Zen wind chimes playing in the background of the music. Hmm. I think the dot at the top actually is a little helpful, even though it's kind of unnecessary. It does quickly answer any questions you may have uh, as to whether you could move in a certain direction or not. There we go. 16. Now I bet if I was to guess there was only probably 30 puzzles listed here. Ooh, this may be an incredibly short experience. That really leaves me with not a lot to say. It's really just a matter of how long this single indie person would have put his time into making more of these puzzles, and whether they would be continued to be interesting if they are just ever more derivative of previous puzzles. And I could see the editor helping a little bit save the actual creator of the game from having to hand draw all of these puzzles, but whether you go from here. It's kind of a swipe thing too. You go to junctions, and those junctions are the only places you can move, or you need to move. There we go. I was so close to the end and I didn't even see it. Yeah, it's been about 12 minutes and we've done them all. I couldn't see many people having any trouble with this, though. Maybe if you couldn't wrap your head around MC Escher and perspective, you might have a little bit of difficulty, but the game is guiding you, the game is showing you exactly where you need to go and what you need to do. Let's see. Well, I'm having a little bit of difficulty figuring it all out. No. Over here, maybe? Nope. It's this double loop that's throwing me for a loop, I think. Yeah, I think this will do it. Down this way. There we go. It is kind of just wandering around with squeaky sounds. At 19, if there was going to be at least 60 puzzles, I would say 19 is as far as they can go before they introduce something new. There needs to be a new element here. Something that would interest the player, give them something different to do. See, this goes up here, this goes here, this goes here, this goes down that way, I see. This way, this way. Can't do anything over there. One would assume that all these tricks are simply just spiraling around. So it's not even probably that difficult to realize what's going on. But you don't need to realize it. So at 20, I would say we need something new. Even if there was like a million puzzles, we've done enough of these where it's like, alright, you can't just continuously add designs and keep it fresh. We need a blue square, we need a blue tile, we need something that would, for some reason, give us something more to do. Is this it? Nope. Yep, that path is broken off. It does certainly put a spin on the standard hedge maze type thing. If for every video game that had a hedge maze in it, they decided to do a MC Escher style art piece, that would certainly change things. Make things a little bit more complicated. Maybe here. Yep, there it is. But it's mostly just about, do you continue down the path or do you turn when we start having things that overlap twice? So the number of possible combinations here is not what I would consider a ridiculously high number. This way. Which face do I need to get on? There's some weirdness here because I don't see how we'd get on that face ever. I don't see anything connecting to it. Like right here. Let's hit a button. Oops. Well, that was the button that we hit. So, yeah. Looks like we're halfway done already. Wow. That's gonna be a short adventure, isn't it? I don't see a reason to try and make multiple recordings at this rate. So I will say promising 10 more when you've probably only given me about 75 puzzles is not enough. Keep this game cheap, keep it I would say under 99 cents, probably somewhere closer to 50% when you sell it. Like, this is going to be a tried and true test of the 2-hour refund of Steam. Now, I'm not for the moment suggesting anybody buy this game, play it for less than 2 hours, and then refund it, but this is one of the things that independent games creators were afraid of, is that because they made a small game, a short game, that would be something that they could do. And almost rightfully so, because I mean, as a video game player, this game does feel short enough that I could see people's justifications a little bit, at least, of saying, well, I want my money back, this is too short. It, I thought it was going to be a lot longer. There we go. But since you're watching this review and you already know that it's short, you need to, I think you're probably morally obliged at that point to buy this game knowing it's short and keep it, uh, or just not buy the game because you know it's short. I don't think it would be particularly fair if going in you knew the game was short and then decided to buy it and then knowing you were going to get a refund. I guess it's the difference between what the salesman says and what the truth is. If the salesman's honest with you, you should probably reward that. If a salesman's not honest with you, you should probably not do business with them ever again. So I need to get on one of these faces here. But this puts us here. And then that puts me here. And then maybe this puts me down this way. There's a little bit of a challenge here. I would recommend the game creator, though, put in an incredibly difficult one at the end. If the case was, well, we've only got these many puzzles and we know it. Try to build up to something that would be a major challenge, and then say the rest of the game is just a tutorial. I don't have a problem with somebody making a game that is literally just one giant puzzle, but it's got to be a giant puzzle. Myst, for example, is a game that is technically one giant puzzle, but you have to do a lot of things the first time you play it to realize that, or to solve it. Which way do I go? Sadly, there's not a lot to talk about here, because it's just this, and it's not even fully embracing MC Escher, if I'm gonna be honest. MC Escher did a lot more than just force perspectives of squares and shapes. He integrated several other characters and creatures in a lot of his art. He carved a few things. He painted other things that are only slightly related to forced perspective. For instance, one of the things is he did a self-portrait while holding a mirrored ball, and that's would have been a good logo to use, since they're kind of cheap here on the logo. Not that I particularly have any real care whether the logo of a game is good or not. There we go. I was trying to figure out, wait a minute, I'm just going in circles here. Hmm. Here's a good one. We're going all the way around on this box. There we go. Puzzle 24. He painted an Angels and Demons one tessellation. He practically invented the concept of tessellations. He probably didn't, but he certainly popularized it. Maybe I should just accurately say that. This is quite a mess. I could see this puzzle game hurting people's eyes, much like people's eyes are sometimes sore because of the magic eye puzzles. I could never get those to work very well. Here we are. I will say that for a first programming of a game, this is probably excellent work. If this is the first game this person has ever made, it's simple, it's sleek. He didn't probably need to hire an artist to draw too much. He probably should have hired an artist to draw a few things, but at the core of it, it was something that this game programmer could do on his own without having to rely on others' talents. And this feels like something that could have been a thesis project for video game programming. Maybe it's a little too simple for that. It feels like something that could have, that's not overreaching, not overambitious to the point of collapsing the entire game on a burdenous concept. So many people want to make first-person shooters as their first game, and they end up making something that's not as good as it should be because simply you can't make a first-person shooter by yourself. It just doesn't work that way. Here, I think this is the solution. Yep. Just keep on trying, just keep on going. I don't think an editor saves this though. I don't think it saves it from the core flaw of this game. It's just too short. There's no time here. You could have put a time in this and tried to stretch your game out a little bit. You could have put a score with the number of steps. Even though I just finished a cell phone looking port, a port that looked like a game that looked like it was a cell phone port. I don't know if it was or not. And this is a cell phone port in a sense. It's a game that was made for both cell phones and PCs. It's missing a few things. A number of steps counter, a number of times counter. That could have been added as secondary goals. And that would have had some replayability for a few people at least. I'm finding the music is starting to get a little annoying. Honestly. It's too repetitive, not enough variety there. Maybe I come back this way. Maybe I go back this way. I'm just back where I started, darn it. They're getting me. They're getting me a little bit. Well, got it. Didn't see the... Didn't even know I was about to solve it. This one actually seems kind of simple. There must be something more to it that I'm not seeing. Nope, it was rather simple. It would be pretty difficult to judge which of these levels are more difficult than the others. Actually. Keeping your own head wrapped around this game could become a challenge. Perfect. If you think too analytically, if you think too logically here and aren't willing to suspend what your brain knows on the way things work, I could see it being rather a challenge. Let's see, I can't go up further that way, right? So let's go up this way. Rotate this way. Nope, can't do anything over that way. Can't do anything over that way. And there's the solution. This is gonna be a quick run. This would be a good video for people trying to find the solutions. But honestly, I don't think that many people, if you just play the game, you'll get the solution pretty quickly. As long as you're willing to wander around in circles for a little bit. Of course, I guess there's always a chance there is a player of video games that just wants the solution immediately. Certainly some games have proven, or I can look at them from the beginning and said, oh, there's a bunch of collectibles. That's another thing that could have been in this game. They could have had a collectible blue box or some other object that you had to walk on that was far away from where the rest of the items are. And then you would have to make extra effort to get to that. So notice how that ledge there is not connected at all. People have done this style of gameplay better though, because there's been a right and left, like rotate, and you had to connect it yourself. I even once did something similar as a forced perspective in a Minecraft map that I had a long time ago. I don't have it anymore, I don't think. Almost certainly don't. Where I just locked a specific window, so when you looked out this window, you would see words in the sky, but if you looked from any other direction... Oh yeah, I did that on my Xbox 360 Minecraft map world, so I may actually still have that if I went back and played that form, but I don't think I could ever export it to the PC Minecraft. I could redo it pretty easily, and other people have done a lot more complicated things. But yeah, this game had me thinking about that. This way, this way, this way, this way, I think. How about this way? I guess the only intersections are the overlap points, aren't they? And I'm back to where I started. You have to go down this way. You don't particularly... You have a choice there, and you have a choice there. This gets you here. Let's try this. That gets you right back behind us on a different path. Ah, here's the solution. How many more can there be? We've done 33 now. Unless the map just continuously expands, we're probably pretty close to the end. We've been going 36 minutes. And nothing wrong with this game. It's just simple. Just simple. If you want just a simple game, I would say this would do it for you. But I think you could do a lot more with this concept. I think there's, I mean, like I said, time, score, collectibles, all of those could be done, and that's just if you stay with the MC Escher lines and cuboid things here. Square beams. If you started using some of MC Escher's other art, which that would be really nice if you could get, if you could use all of that. I don't know if you'd get sued into oblivion for using MC Escher's art. It's probably might still be copyrighted, unfortunately, the way the US copyright system works. But I would love to see, at least at the end of this game, where we were walking a little red square around one of his larger pictures and really interacting with it. That would be cool. In fact, it would be pretty cool if there was a game that included a bunch of art of different artists and did similar things, where you, as a player character, whether you're a red square or something else, walked around and interacted with it. I don't get the squeaky break thing though. How could the programmer of this game have even bug tested this game with the squeakiness on and thought that was a good idea? I would either have him not make any sound when he moved, or I would have him maybe very softly play a different note in a song with each step. But then you would probably mess up the background audio if you did that, so. But the squeakiness does not help anything. Am I making progress? I don't know. I don't know if I'm making it to the place or if I'm getting further away from it. I think we started here. Yep, that's the beginning. We just went backwards. Oh, here it is. This is the solution to get us to the next point. There it is. That's what I was missing. 36. Let's move on forward. You can tell by the screen this is definitely designed for a cell phone. What's weird is it doesn't even have an exit button on the menu. You have to just hit Alt F4, like old school in the program stuff. That's pretty much unacceptable. That was a problem with some of the Windows 10 Store games, is they didn't even have a exit to the main menu section or button. Yeah, all those things aren't gonna work. Windows 10 apps for the stores. Steam or good old gaming maybe, but Windows is not gonna, Microsoft's not gonna win hearts and minds there. And in fact, it's quite surprising Microsoft even won hearts and minds with the Xbox. As a person who had an Xbox and loved it, Xbox 360. Alright, run this way. Run this way. Oh, come on. All the way down. Does that work? Nope. So do I want to go in this middle section here? And hit this. And then... isn't this just a full circle? Do I want to do something like this? No. It's only this middle section that overlaps, I guess. Maybe I go this way. Go around like this. So close. Let's see if I go down this direction. That's the solution. Good. 37. I bet there's only 40. Let's see. Not a lot to say here, is there? And I hate when I do reviews for games like this. It's just like, I want to say something, but neither anything negative nor positive that I can add to the current experience. It just is. We are doing the puzzles. They are decent. So I just need to be on the other side of that. So I think I need to be over here. See, this one turns right into that. That one turns right into that. This one can go back this way. This one can go like this way. Hmm. Hmm. Here we go. See, that would be the wrong way. It has to be. This has to be something like this. Hmm. Squeak, 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 squeak. Hmm. So close. See, and I'd put a collectible right there because that's got to be probably the furthest spot in this puzzle. Hmm. Hmm. This. Now if I go up, and then this direction, and then down, and then this direction, and then I think I'm just back where I started. Hmm. Maybe I need to come down this ring. Hmm. Some of these are definitely dead ends. Like this to that. Or this to that. That doesn't work. Hmm. That was weird. I got it to stop for a second. Hey. I guess the game bugged there. Hmm. Let's zoom back out. Ooh. 48 minutes. Well, we hit a level there, didn't we? That we couldn't finish. We did a considerable amount of the other ones. And we've been going 50 minutes now. So, I think that's long enough to break this into 2 recordings. But then we'll be done. It goes to show you like 10 new levels will come as soon as possible. Maybe he's been adding levels like crazy, but he's probably working on the editor. It seems very simple. Anywho, that's going to be it for this recording. Come back for the other one and we'll see what we can do. As always, I end my episodes the same way. I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment if you want to, and watch every second of my videos. I hope that helps out. If you want to support me, you can click on my name Rydo. That'll take you to my main YouTube page. On the right there's a blue button that says support this channel. Click it, make a donation. Also on my main YouTube page is a playlist tab. Click that and make a selection between all of those playlists because I'm sure there's some other video game that I've covered that interests you. There's a playlist there for every single game I've covered. And then down below in the description box I have links to all my social media, so friend me on Facebook, Twitter, Tumblr, Google+, friend me on Steam, and friend me on Bell.net. All those links are down below in the description. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.